Giving people new smiles for 35 years, Operation Smile offers free life-saving surgery to kids and adults, in fact, born with cleft lips. And they're celebrating 35 years with a gala at the Main in Norfolk. And co-founder and CEO of Operation Smile, Dr. Bill McGee, joining me now. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I mean, what you've been doing here is just amazing work. I mean, these children, this is a birth defect for those that aren't familiar with it, cleft lip or cleft palate, they might call it as well. They're just born with this birth defect. Why did you devote your life to making this an issue and fixing it?
It was by chance. I was a young plastic surgeon. I'm still a young plastic surgeon.
Yeah, of course you are, yeah.
You know, 35 years ago, I was, going to the Philippines, invited to operate on some kids, and we saw literally about 300 kids come in and could take care of only 40. And it was just one of the most incredible moments. I mean, I couldn't get over it. My wife couldn't get over it. And our 13-year-old daughter who was there couldn't get over it. And it just didn't seem right to have these people have no access to being cured.
And when they have this cleft palate, what is the main issue that it causes to them?
They can't eat, they can't speak intelligibly, they're ostracized, they're imprisoned in their own body, literally, and they just can't function. It must be just horrible.
And the places that you're going to are places that would never have the opportunity to have this issue resolved.
That's right. There's just not the manpower, there's not the training, there's not the access to safe surgical care.
Oh man, this is unbelievable. And so you have been doing this for 35 years, and now you have students in high school, the student program. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, our 13-year-old daughter, oldest of our 5 children, was there on the first trip, and she was my scrub nurse and taking care of it. She came back with a couple of her friends, started a club at Norfolk Academy, and it just spread from there. There's now about 900 clubs in the United States, hundreds more around the world.
They travel with you all through these areas.
They get involved as volunteers, and then the leaders of those clubs. We take 2 high school students on every trip, and I have never heard a parent that almost doesn't say, well, my kid's a different child today than they were a few weeks ago before they went on that trip.
That must be a life-changing trip to go on. And so now we have this big event that's coming up, this gala that's happening on November 17th. There's the information on the screen. Yeah, so at the Main in Norfolk, November 17th. Quickly, can you tell us what the goal of this gala is? You want to honor the folks that are going to be here?
It's really to celebrate this community. 35 years ago, it was this community that gave us that jump start, and continues to today. I mean, it's not just the students. I mean, if you think of the hospital systems, the KD, the Centera hospital system.
They're all part of it.
They were part of it. If you take a look at the city councils and the governmental people in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, et cetera, they were part of it. If you take a look at donors and corporations that were so generous, all of those entities allowed us to take those trips. 35 years later, I mean, we're in close to 60 countries.
Yeah,
we've operated on 400,000 kids.
But the important thing is you always need the support. You always need to help raise money to take this to the next level. So that's November 17th.